there's this conversation about Tucker on Twitter, and we're finding out in the last 24 hours that Tucker Carlson's numbers are cratering on Twitter. Now, I know coming from people who get literally hundreds of views an episode, talking about millions of views is ridiculous. But compared to where he has been, and this is Matt Binder. Matt Binder, I think, works with Sam Cedar. Am I right with that? Part of the Sam Cedar crew, Emma Vigeland crew. And he has put out an announcement to the numbers. These are the video view stats, remembering that each video needs to be played at least for 2 seconds. Episode 1 was 27 million, episode 2, 14 million, episode 3, 22 million, episode 4, 10 million, episode 5, 6.5 million, episode 6, 8.5 million, episode 7, 5.5 million, episode 8, nearly 4 million. Matthew Gertz, who is a senior fellow at the MMFA, not the GOP congressman, find that person there. Anyway, he has also said views for Tucker Carlson on Twitter posts assume the number of people who actually viewed the videos is much lower. There's apparently a new algorithm that Elon has brought in, and if it scrolls through past you, it can get counted as a view. I think he did that just before Matt Walsh put up his documentary to get those 200 million views. But look, I'm not being bitter. I will still say no matter what, you will see... they're still big numbers. Like even if 120 million for Tucker was only 20 million people watching, that's still, the biggest CNN show has 1 million, so it's still humongous. But the point I guess that these guys are making is look what's happening to the numbers. This is from Matt Gertz, 120 million episode 1, 60 million, so in half episode 2. After Trump was indicted, it jumped up to 104 million. Then it went down to 32 million, 17 million, up to 32 million, down to 15 million, down to 8.6 million. So it's currently sitting around 4 to 5% of its opening episode. Say 5% would be a good, and there is the Tucker Carlson Twitter views, the trend on Twitter. So I don't know. I'm not going to read too much into the idea of Elon Musk and Carlson, but maybe hitching his boat to Elon might not have been a good thing in the long run. And it also means maybe, and this is not necessarily my original thought, I was thinking this, but I've heard others say it, in case you've seen, like, people are talking about Kyle Kalinske. I didn't see what Kyle Kalinske said today, but I have seen what others have said. And others are also saying that maybe this just shows the strength of that time slot on Fox News as opposed to the strength of Tucker Carlson. I remember when Paul Holmes went to Prime TV. Paul Holmes was the biggest thing in New Zealand television and radio, and he went to Prime TV for $1 million. And his numbers cratered. And it was because he was the biggest thing on New Zealand TV, because 7 p.m. on TV1 was the biggest thing on New Zealand TV. And that's why. Not to take anything away from Paul Holmes, who was an absolute legend, without question, but the time slot was the thing that gave him the numbers more so than he himself, which was proven when he went to Prime. And maybe what this is showing is the time slot, I think it's 8 p.m. on Fox, is more so the star of this episode than perhaps Tucker Carlson was. When Bill O'Reilly left, they thought this is the end of it. Tucker Carlson got bigger numbers. Whoever's going to be the next person in there, don't know, they may not get bigger numbers than Tucker Carlson, but they'll get plenty good numbers because, old people don't know how to change their skyboxes. Like, that's literally a part of it. They don't know how to change the channel.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, all I can say is it's delicious to see. You hate it. Hate to see it, right?
Oh, it's terrible. I hate to see it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm real sorry for the guy.
Hint of sarcasm there, Chewy, just quietly.
Oh, just a smooch. And I know people have had problems with our sarcasm on Twitter today, but yes, that is sarcasm. I wish Tucker Carlson to kindly remove himself and add himself to the sea.
It is funny, not a bit of attention here, talking about sarcasm on Twitter today. The tweet that I put up yesterday that we were talking about with that road sign, it is hilarious to see the number of people who are calling me racist and saying that old white stale men, having problems with this. They can't see. And then what's even funnier is the people responding to those people going, how stupid you must be not to see that this is irony here. But yeah, sarcasm and irony. It's very, very funny. Very, very funny. There's more on Tucker Carlson. I've got actually 2 other stories to tie into him today because it hasn't been necessarily a good day for Tucker Carlson. Here's the next one. Ray Epps sues Fox News for Capitol riot conspiracy claim. How's this for a convergence of absolute revolting people? So Ray Epps was one of the guys who was at the January 6th insurrection. One of the bad guys, to be honest. But Fox News and other sources have been claiming that he is like a plant. He is one of these. He's FBI, and and so what he's doing is he's now suing Fox News for the claims they made about him to do with him being basically a psyop. A former US
There's always a false flag.
A former US Marine who became the focus of right-wing conspiracies surrounding the Capitol riot is suing Fox News for defamation. The legal action accuses Fox of telling a, quote, fantastical story, end quote, suggesting Ray Epps was a federal agent to make him a scapegoat for the raid on Congress. Mr. Epps was filmed encouraging people to enter the Capitol complex in January 2021, but he was not charged. The lawsuit filed in court in Delaware on Wednesday does not specify damages. It also names Tucker Carlson, who was taken off air by the network earlier this year. Mr. Epps' lawyer says the client and his wife had to close their wedding venue business in Arizona and move to a small motorhome in Utah because of the threats and harassment they endured as a result of the conspiracy theories. Couldn't happen to a nicer guy. In a statement, Mr. Epps' lawyer, Michael Teta, said the lawsuit, quote, marks another moment of accountability. For years, Fox News and Mr. Carlson created and amplified conspiracy theories about Ray that lacked any foundation in fact, Mr. Teta said. They have endured significant emotional and psychological harm from the attacks, the attorney added. It is the latest legal action against Fox News, which settled a lawsuit by voting machine company Dominion for $787 million. In April, Fox also faced a $2.7 billion defamation lawsuit filed by another election technology company, Smartmatic, which accuses the channel of broadcasting lies that decimated its business. Carl Tobias, a law professor at University of Richmond in Virginia, told the BBC the volume of evidence that emerged during the Dominion case was vastly larger than what has so far appeared in Mr. Epps' lawsuit. But the allegations in the complaint, if proved, might expose Tucker Carlson and Fox to some liability, Mr. Tobias added. He also said the difficult part for Mr. Epps will be to prove that someone there was actual malice in the reporting and that they were engaged in serious misconduct and neglecting to do what should have been done by way of fact checking. So not so good day again for Mr. Carlson and for Fox News, Chewy.
It's really upsetting that when you do it just even a little bit of an insurrection, that there are in fact consequences. I mean, I'd be personally thankful that you didn't end up in jail, that you're just in a trailer in the desert somewhere, like with all the other crazy people. They could build a community.
Yes.
You've been zapped to the nether realm again.
Yes, I have. I'm still here, but I'm not sure what's happening with my camera. It did this last night as well, so I can't actually touch or control everything, Chewy. So maybe there's some chats you could get to while I'm doing this.
Yeah, Arrest JK says, when you're shocked that the leopard face eaters eat your face.
Yeah.
That's absolutely true. Yeah. I'm always stunned with this from the insurrectionists, is that they're kind of like, oh no. Like it was just a prank, bro. I didn't expect to lose my job or have federal law enforcement come after me. All I did was kick in the doors of the Capitol and just roam around like a nut bar for a while.
And threaten to kill Mike Pence.
Surely that's covered under my First Amendment rights, is it not?
Yeah. Let's have a look at one more thing with Tucker Carlson, just because we're going balls deep in Tucker today, which kind of sounds wrong when I say it.
Don't like that phrase.
Not at all. So Oliver Darcy is a
bad.
senior media reporter at CNN. Tucker Carlson on his latest show had a chat with Andrew Tate. Oliver Darcy on Threads, this is the first time we referenced Threads on the show, has released a conversation he had with Tucker Carlson. So here's what Tucker Carlson told Oliver Darcy when I asked him about his softball interview with Andrew Tate. Tucker and Tate, Twitter vlogger, that's what he calls him now, a Twitter vlogger, that's hilarious. Tucker Carlson is standing by his decision to lie about the charges that fellow right-wing extremist vlogger Andrew Tate faces in Romania during the latest episode of his show to Tuesday. Carlson interviewed Tate at length. The episode is 2.5 hours, allowing the misogynist online personality to brazenly mislead his audience about the crimes he is accused of. At one point during the chat, Carlson went as far as to declare that Tate was, quote, not accused of a sex crime, end quote, and, quote, not actually accused of rape, end quote. But that's simply not true. Tate has been indicted on, human trafficking and rape charges by authorities in Romania. When I pointed this out to Carlson via text on Tuesday evening, so text means a direct phone number, that's how I would read that. He didn't say tweet, he said text. So he's texting Tucker Carlson. Yeah. When I pointed this out to Carlson via text on Tuesday evening, the former Fox News host asked me if I'd ever seen the charges and knew who Tate was accused of raping. Okay, so Tate's been accused of rape, and Tucker Carlson's gone, well, have you seen the charges and do you know who he raped? That's the response. There's more though, Chewy. I told him I'd seen the press release announcing the charges, to which Carlson claimed that I had, quote, zero facts, end quote, and added, quote, a Romanian press release is enough for you? That's journalism? You can just picture that face, that Tucker Carlson face, that side tilty, squinty thing. It's worth noting here that Carlson has made wild assertions based on far flimsier material. I asked Carlson whether he seriously believed it was journalistically wise to ignore what authorities are publicly saying, to which Carlson answered, quote, if you think a government press release is all you need for a story, you ought to be in another business, end quote. I told Carlson I believe everyone is innocent until proven guilty, but that it was strange that he did not push back against Tate. Why not note what the authorities have publicly said? Carlson replied, I don't take anyone's word for anything, but accusing someone of a sex crime without naming the supposed victim is libel and it's immoral. But you don't care because you dislike his politics. You are not a journalist. You're a liar.
What the hell?
You're not my friend. So according to Tucker Carlson, accusing someone of a sex crime without naming the supposed victim is libel and it's immoral. So therefore, right, let's just get this straight. A father who commits a pedophilic act on his child, you have to release the name of the father and the child, or else, because that's a sex act. It's the worst sex act, but it's a sex act, or else Tucker Carlson's saying that's libel and it's immoral. What is he smoking?